It tells you something about the state of the Labour government, that Westminster now feels less like a serious administration and more like the Strictly Results show filmed on a Saturday night after after the main show, with everyone sworn to silence, and by Sunday lunchtime half the country already knows who has been voted off. The allegation is that Angela Rayner, newly contrite over her stamp duty fiasco, is quietly offering future cabinet jobs to colleagues in exchange for support in a leadership contest. Now, I did a piece about Angela Rayner a couple of hours ago, and then suddenly there's this extra bit of information. Publicly, she insists it is total rubbish and says she's focused on her constituency. Privately, we're told that she's on manoeuvres, getting her ducks in a row, and now joining Tribune as if it were not a soft left ginger group, but a casting agency for the next series of Who Wants to be Prime Minister. The Strictly parallel is not accidental. Just as the results show is recorded straight after the live performance, leadership politics now appears to be happening in two time frames. There is the official broadcast version, Rayner loyally praising unity, stressing she's not gone away and talking about child poverty and employment rights. Then there's the spoiler version circulating within minutes on WhatsApp, promises of portfolios, union organisers being sounded out, Tribune swelling towards 100 MPs and quietly marketed as the largest potential leadership slate in the party. This is not occurring in a vacuum. The government is in genuine trouble. Rachel Reeves has managed the rare feat of spooking both the bond markets and her own backbenchers with an income tax hokey-cokey. Polls now have Labour languishing in the high teens while Reform sits in the low 30s. Satisfaction ratings for Starmer and Reeves are scraping historic lows. A sober party in mid-term difficulty might respond with discipline and policy correction. Instead, Labour has produced a briefing war against Wes Streeting, a health secretary who ends up attacking his own Downing Street as toxic and juvenile, and a prime minister forced into the absurd posture of promising to absolutely deal with anyone who has been anonymously spinning on his behalf. Into this shambles, Clive Lewis, who has now gone fully public in calling for Starmer to quit, and Andy Burnham, who might be installed as Prime Minister. This is extraordinary information leaking out all over the place. It's quite something when an MP can say on national television that the government cannot stagger on and still keep the whip 24 hours later. This is not discipline, this is nervous exhaustion. Backbenchers talk openly about a complete shambles, about a leadership that has shot all three of its own feet, about ministers who are frightened of their own shadow and worried about their seats. In that climate, of course, people will listen to Angela Rayner, popular with the membership and with the unions, calls to ask how they might like to serve in any future government. Is it improper? In one sense, it's politics in its purest and least romantic form. Leadership challenges are never spontaneous uprisings of conscience. They are always preceded by conversations in tea rooms about who gets what. The difference now is the Strictly effect. The results show keeps leaking. You cannot run a patronage operation in an era where every DM is screenshot, every off-the-record remark is 3 minutes away from appearing in a Telegraph push notification or a GB News flagged broadcast. The old vow of secrecy is about as watertight as a colander. For Starmer, the danger is not simply Rayner herself, but what her alleged manoeuvres symbolise. They speak of a broader loss of control. He has lost his deputy prime minister. He is hemorrhaging authority to reform in the country and to factional entrepreneurs in the Commons. And he is now dependent on the very unions he spent years marginalising to keep the show on the road. When MPs start gaming out, not whether there will be a leadership election, but who is getting ready for it, you're already in a pre-recorded section of the programme. One can argue that Rayner is merely doing what any rational politician would do when the current lead is collapsing and the choreography has fallen apart. Equally, one can argue that this is the worst possible moment for Labour to indulge itself in casting dramas while 8 in 10 voters say the country is getting worse. Either way, the image is now fixed. While Starmer stares grimly down the camera and insists he leads a united team, the political equivalent of the Strictly spoiler account is busy telling anyone who will listen which shadow cabinet minister has been promised which glitterball job in the post-Starmer world. And the public, who have seen rather a lot of this film in recent years, may reasonably ask a brutal question. If Labour cannot keep its own results show under control for 24 hours, why should anyone trust it to run the country for the next 5 years?